Welcome back everyone to Let's Play A Legionary's Life, episode number 17. And I think we're getting very close to the end of this series. I think even the end of the gameplay itself. We'll find out by the end of this episode if that's true or not. Just to recap our character, superb morale. In the moment, superb morale. The troops all like him. Very virtuous. As far as characteristics, we already know I kind of thought about this more, and the attack style we're using with this character is a very low risk, high success chance because it does not rely as much on RNG. Because the longer you play, the less RNG. I mean, basically it's a law of large numbers. As you roll the dice more, you should converge towards the natural percentages. So, I mean, if you think about it, you expect the average of your rolls of a 6-sided dice to be 3.5. If you roll it just one time, you could get 1 or 6 just as easily as 3 or 4. But if you add that up over maybe 10 rolls, your average then is getting much closer to 3.5. And if you did it 100 times, it would be much closer even still. So the way we play is with a lot of endurance and with a lot of constitution and coordination. These are the 3 keys to this. I mean, the most important thing for almost any build I think you can make is the skills itself, which we have very high. But the endurance, constitution, and coordination allow us to do really long fights. And in the long run, we're going to win. So the reason why we need endurance is pretty obvious. We just need to outlast them. We need to not get weary while they are. Constitution is actually pretty important for this build. I thought about it more. Although I do not weight Constitution very highly in general because it doesn't actually add anything to your combat chances. It just allows you to take more hits. The ideal is don't take hits at all. But the reason why this Constitution is important is it allows you to survive a few bad RNG rolls while you're waiting for the endurance to win. And then coordination, obviously this is important because the whole point of this is I think coordination is one of the most important traits in general. It keeps you on a better balance against your enemy. So, I mean, skills are obviously really important. So anyways, and we're in the middle of this battle, the huge battle, which this is the deciding battle between Rome and Macedonia. So we're in the middle of it, and we'll see how it concludes, I'm guessing, pretty soon. You see the other wing advancing with all the elephants in front of the infantry. They soon disappear from your field of view. You don't know what they are attacking. The hillside you are standing on hides everything. That must be the right wing. At length, you try to contain the advance of the phalanx as best you can. They launch another all-out assault. So we're back here. Looks like we have some penalty. This character's enemies have the high ground. Okay. And they are fatigued, so they are taking... It looks like they're a little bit tired. We'll go ahead and close in, and I haven't really tried out Chop yet, but the name of the game here, let's go ahead and slash, because I know that they're going to do spear push, or whatever, shield wall push. Oh, I missed, of course, and that allows them to actually attack. But we will, I think that this just allows us to slash once more. Yeah, okay, and now we really have to recover. One sec. Okay, back to it then. So, yeah, time to recover. Maybe next time. Oh boy. Just try to nip this in the bud. Now we can go back to normal. And time to respite. I doubt very much we're going to end up actually killing this thing. Okay, we'll take our chance to recover. Okay, let's try to chop. Oh, look at that, 12 damage. Not bad. Okay, they recovered. We can try a slash. Okay, -2. That succeeded, which means we'll go back to respiting. Okay, and 2 of those is going to make us recover. Rally gave them hit points back. Okay, so it's basically pointless to try to kill the phalanx because they can just heal. For 13, there's no way we can outdamage that. So I guess we'll just respite. That, I don't know if I like that mechanic. I mean, what's the point now? So I think that we go to round 20 and it'll recycle. Unless this is to the death now. In which case I'd still rather them get tired out. So let's just take our time about this. Yeah, they're halfway. They're at fatigue level 1. We're at 0. And they're halfway to fatigue 2. Okay, we'll just respite. I think we'll respite a second time. Wait for the second fail. There it is. Now we'll recover. And we'll... Whoa! Not slash, but respite. Because we are going to have the round shifting, so are obviously not going to do that much damage. They are slightly wounded. Let's see if that carries over to the next. I doubt it will, but... They are taking me down. Okay, that's it. And we will not fall back. We'll stay at the front. Once again, you lead your soldiers as you go on the offensive. Close on in. Alright, so is it the same story? Yeah, they actually healed. So it's completely pointless to try to do any damage to these guys. It'd be very difficult to get them down to half if they didn't heal. And with their healing, it's... I would say it's basically impossible. So we'll do a respite to start. We just want to wait. I mean, maybe it'll be easier to hit them if they have a lot of fatigue. Let's recover. Okay. Kind of puts us in an interesting situation where we don't really need to recover, so I'm in the respite. They're recovering, which gives us the perfect recover. Okay, good. And we'll go back and respite ourselves as well. Let's respite. We want to antagonize them into these spear wall pushes. Shield push reduces their stance by 16 to 20, but failing is by 6 to 12, but the fatigue cost is 4. It's just such a small chance to actually succeed. I really don't know how you're supposed to do this well. And probably people in the comments will try to let me know, but I mean, at least for the moment, I don't see any point. I just don't see how you can actually defeat this thing. Although I bet you our reward, the extra skills or whatever, probably depends on whether or not we kill it, but I mean, our fatigue's down to nothing. At this point, we might as well go for it, right? Let's go for a chop. 7 damage. They attack. Okay, we'll go for another chop. Damn. Okay, well, we have the advantage still. Chop. 5. The question is, will they... Let's go for it. 15, wow. They rallied it back. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Like, there's no way we're going to keep landing a 55% chance. Let's try the slash. -5 is not that bad. Let's go for that. -6. -3. -2. But as soon as they land one, our chances of landing are not that bad. Okay, let's go for it. Problem is, this is all... Okay, so they were at like 60, maybe 70% health. And where are they? They have not healed entirely. Okay. So they heal a little bit, but not everything. Their fatigue is actually pretty bad. I think we're going to go for it here. Okay, once they do that, I think it's... Well, slash is almost 75%. And we could recover. Let's just go ahead and recover here. Okay. Go back with the slash. Damn it. Well, that's actually an advantage for us. We'll take the chop. 15! They rallied 14 back. You gotta be kidding me. Alright. We'll just recover. They'll recover. Everybody recovers. We'll go back to slashing. 3 more. 5. I mean, of course, we're losing fatigue to do this, but... Alright, let's respite. Usually getting 2 turns in a row means you get a free recovery, but... I think we'll go for the slash here. I think we might be making headway. 0. Brutal. Okay, -6. There's the big miss. Okay, they only did -20, so I think we'll go for the recovery here. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we give them a chance, but -0, damn it. Try it again. -3. They're definitely getting down there. Despite your efforts, the enemy formation is tenaciously holding its ground. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. You don't know how for long... Oh, man, it looks like this is over. You don't know for how long you can continue holding out. You venture a look around. So many of the lads are close to breaking point. We are so close. Your army is on the verge of collapse. You can barely see more troops approaching from the top of the hills behind the phalanx. Oh. They are mostly hidden by the pikes held by the rear ranks of the Macedonians and impossible to recognize, but they must be enemies, more of them. So this is how it ends. The phalanx is going to rout you, and their reinforcements will pursue and exterminate you. You feel almost resigned. You just hope they make it quick when it is your turn. Of course, we know that's not true. When the reinforcements get closer and you catch a little glimpse of their shields, you can't believe your eyes. The rear of the phalanx is trying in vain to turn around and face them. They are not enemies, they are Romans. You don't know why they got there, and you don't know how they got there, and you don't care for now. All that matters is that the enemy is surrounded and you are going to live. You join the assault from this side. The plight of the Macedonians is hopeless. Their long weapons are just a hindrance now that they are being attacked from multiple directions. Many phalangites, or phalangites, throw their shields away and attempt to flee, but there is no escape for them. Before long, the survivors are holding their pikes high with both hands, a strange gesture you have never seen before. You have no idea what it means. The slaughter goes on. Here and all over the battlefield, the Macedonians are massacred by thousands before the carnage is stopped. Interesting. When all is over, you learn by bits and scraps of information what really happened during the battle. The right wing of your army charged with the elephants. At the left of the Macedonians, there the phalanx was still in marching order on difficult ground. It was put to flight right away, so they weren't prepared. Most of the Romans and their allies were busy chasing the enemy. Just want to make sure the recording is going. But one of the tribunes took about half of a legion and came to your rescue. What happened next, you have seen with your own eyes. So it seems the enemy hadn't planned this battle after all. He was rushed into it as much as you. Philip and the rest of the survivors have withdrawn to Macedonia. Peace talks have resumed shortly thereafter. This time, the defeated king has no choice but to accept all the conditions imposed by Rome. The Macedonians give up all the lands of the Grecians in Europe and Asia, while impairing limitations are enforced on their military capacity. It looks like the sunset of the power that once had half the world at its feet. Pretty impressive to think about that this really is the final hurrah, or at least the Macedonians prior to the fall of Carthage, or up to the fall of Carthage, were the final hurrah in a Hellenic dynasty of just world dominance, basically, ever since Alexander the Great made his conquest some 200 years ago. And it's just crazy how quickly the Greek Empire expanded and then collapsed. I think that the amount of time the Greeks spent in control of the world, the Greek culture was pretty long lasting. You had the Ptolemaic Empire, the Egyptians, basically, who lasted until the famous, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name, the Cleopatra. The famous Mark Antony and all that during Roman times. So you had Greek empires still in place, but at least the main Greek area was really second best to Rome after this. So probably it would have been before this at some point, but there was no reason why they would go into full-on war, and they were just completely run over in this one. So okay, we're done with this. Your deeds have taken your skills one step further. Get one skill for everything. And we did not get another thing, so the Grecians acclaim you as liberators. Huh. Among your companions, Titus Modius wonders if they realize they just changed one master for another. They are formally free and subject to their own laws, but now that it set foot in Graecia, Rome will not leave anytime soon. Such a wonderful and cultured land, but each city is following its own petty interests, and they are divided by perennial conflicts. They are doomed to be subjugated by more purposeful and tight-knit powers. Anyway, these thoughts quickly fade in the background of your mind. You are going home. The sun is rising behind you as you stand at the bow of the ship that will take you across the sea. As you look at the vast expanse of water, you think of all the people you have known who now lie buried in Hispania and Africa, or in the land you are leaving behind. Interesting that we passed a virtue check for this. Makes you wonder what would the opposite viewpoint be, that we looked at like the dead bodies of our enemies or something? Like we would have been like celebrating the deaths of the people we had killed? Okay, never mind. You remember the enemies that fell before you? How many of them had a choice? You try to smother the thoughts as you used to, but for some reason it is not so easy now that all is over. Interesting. For a while you stand there alone, enjoying the company of the sea, the great sea, that drop by drop is becoming your sea. So funny little expressions that the Romans, I can't remember the exact name, but it's basically the Romans defended their way into European conquest. The Carthaginians' wars, the first one was not their choosing, and they defended their way to, essentially, even though there was definitely some provocation on their point after that, they kind of defended their way to conquering Carthage, and then they defended their way to conquering the Macedonians, because the Macedonians ganged up on the Romans while they were at war with Carthage. Interesting. Okay, your service against Carthage had been rewarded with 14 Iurgura, I have no idea what that is, of land in Apulia. You spent a few placid years there with your wife and children. I also did not know I had a wife and children. The loot you had brought back was not particularly rich, but combined with your new property, it helped ensure a safe and tranquil existence. I wonder if that's based on the amount of money I had. Because we had a lot of money. Eventually, you were drafted once more. Ooh. So it goes on? Antiochus, ruler of the immense Seleucid Empire, saw Rome as a serious threat to his hegemony in the east. You were part of the army sent overseas to stop his effort to liberate, quote-unquote, Graecia from the influence of the Republic. Your age and experience had ensured a place among the triarii. Okay, despite being close to your 40s, you were still highly respected as one of the best fighters in the army. Okay, so we passed a cool weapons and defense check, which people really respect us. That's always fun to see in a game, when you, like a coming of age moment. A lot of games I think make you a hero too quickly. This game definitely did not do that, and that means that this moment we savor it. We really appreciate that we weren't good and now we are. And I think there's a few games that don't really give you this anymore. I mean, I could go off into a tirade about like even the Elder Scrolls series, like Morrowind and Oblivion, how there was areas where, just the whole level up system changed. There's areas where you would be killed. There was just enemies that were too good. You could not go there. And then in Skyrim, basically, everybody just levels up with you. And I think it was that way in Oblivion too, actually. And I appreciate a game where you can't go to an area because you're skill capped. You aren't good enough yet. But then you really appreciate it when you can get there. Even like World of Warcraft had this. So anyway, after the first year of war, you were greatly surprised to meet again your old commander, Scipio. This time he had chosen to act as a mere legate to his younger brother Lucius, the consul in charge. The war was won, but as a triarius, you hardly saw any action, even at the great battle of Magnesia. For the fourth time in your life, you returned to Italy, or to Italia, after a long conflict beyond the sea. Sometimes the winner of a civic crown was admitted to senatorial rank, but you were not. Interesting. So we didn't pass an intellect and charisma check. I actually thought the whole game was culminating in some kind of political running for our character or some kind of like happy ending in that sense. So I'm actually really surprised that that did not happen. And oh my god, I think my sound has been affected again. No, it's fine. Okay, good. Upon your return, you went back to your lands to lead a serene existence with your family. Tales of your past deeds inspired one of your grandsons to follow in your footsteps. He distinguished himself as a centurion during the Lusitanian War. In the final years of your life, war was declared upon Carthage a third time. After a long siege, Carthage was razed to the ground by Scipio and Aemilianus, the adopted grandson of Scipio Africanus, your long-dead former commander. Your reaction to the news surprised the people around you. It was as if a part of you had burned with the Punic city. A mere few days later, you silently followed its fate, peacefully in your sleep. And that will conclude the series. Tortuga V, Centurio Prior, has some score. He had a civic crown. Damn it, I'm so disappointed that he didn't get elected senator, but that's okay. So we killed, we wounded several people in the beginning. And we accrued quite a... I mean, if this was like the site of an aircraft, we'd have a lot of flags. 5 Syphax's veterans. It's pretty impressive. The 2 Peltus is incredible. The Bulwark, obviously, a huge deal. Okay, thank you, Tortuga V. And far and away, my most successful character. Obviously, he's the only... I mean, that's obvious to me because he's the only one who survived. He's a winner. My best before was killed by a Peltus, so... Wow. Phenomenal. So this was a fantastic game. I do want to check out one thing. If we were to create a new game now... let's just roll again a couple times. I might even play this character just for fun. I want one with higher charisma and intellect so that maybe we have a better chance of going into office. I guess we can choose mental and just wait for something not terrible on the top. That's not terrible on the top. It's not that good on the bottom, though. I think they adjusted this in a patch. It used to be you could get really... I mean, basically the standard deviation for each roll seemed to be much higher. And I don't know if they implemented some kind of balance thing or they weighted the chances of one being higher, greater if another one's lower, and vice versa. Wow, awareness of 71, it's huge. For mental, we're not really getting that great of mental things. I mean, these are barely above average. I mean, we're certainly not getting good physical. Let's go back to balanced. I might just have to say okay and see, because the thing I wanted to check basically is this idea that your character can be a lot better every time you play it. You get a little bit better. It would be kind of fun to have like a super character, just because I want to be the best. I want to be a centurion proper, and I want to be a senator at the end. This is not bad. Awareness is way low, but charisma and intellect are very good. Strength is... Okay, this is terrible. Cannot do that. Constitution of 37. Let me just pause and see. Okay, so this is going to be good enough to at least test out. Terrible endurance, but intellect and charisma are at 61, which is something we can make with. I'm going to choose Testudo for the name. Choose Testudo the 6th, because I don't remember what Testudo number I'm up to. So let's see. We do have 1,400 points available. Looks like we need a lot more to start as a natural swordsman, though. I don't think the starting equipment is that important. Okay, wow. I mean, I guess a better sword would be awesome. This is 57. This one is 60. Okay, 65 to 16. Okay, this one is worth taking, I think. For only 60 points, yeah, we'll take it. I don't think we care about anything else. Okay, 1,000, yeah, we're not going to care. It would make us invincible, but at the same time, I'd rather get stats up. I may even take off those 60 points to get more, so we really want to crank this up. Ugh. So let's get these up until they hit 50. I'll take that. That is a very charismatic, very intelligent individual. At least that's how I would say it. And pretty good stats. I think I mentioned to myself, at least, that coordination might be one of the more important ones. And a lot of things give you endurance. Both the top two skill things are attribute improving, like not the gym, but swimming and running. They both give you endurance. So we might leave endurance, even though it is extremely important. And I might I might actually drop this quickness down since I know that we don't need it as much. And I might just put all those points into coordination. So I will do that until 58 at least. And then we can try to... I don't know. Anyways, it's kind of exciting that I get more points, and I suppose that if we played again, we should get more points after that. And I don't know how this works exactly. My fear is that it's only based on your best character, in which case if we don't do better, it's a waste. Or maybe every character adds a little bit more points. That might be it. What else would we want between these? I mean, I think endurance, honestly. And we'll take the quickness up, leaving us with 2 points, which we'll put just into money, and we'll be done. So that's it, though. That's as much as I'll do on the camera here. I think it'll be interesting to start a new one, and if I build up, maybe one day I'll see about playing another one. Maybe they'll release more content. Who knows? But I hope you enjoyed this series. Gonna wrap this one up. If you have any comments for anybody who makes it this far in the series, if you have any recommendations for games like this, or not even games like this, but just any game in general you might want me to look at. Right now I'm having a nice little fun period in the channel where I don't exactly know what I will play next. Excuse me. That's exciting because normally my hands are kind of like, oh, I already know I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that. And actually, I kind of am deciding lately. I think I'll be doing next Cold Waters series and then Victory at Sea Pacific, but those are not exactly similar to this game, but definitely more my norm for the channel. And then we'll be doing a Rule the Waves. We're already in the middle of a Rule the Waves Succession series, and as soon as that ends, I'll be doing another Rule the Waves series as Japan. So lots of fun things coming up, but there is a little bit of leeway or a little bit of space to play around with the schedule. If you have any comments about that, or just have any comments about this series in general, I always take the comments from the last video in a series pretty seriously. So thanks for watching, thanks for following along the whole series, and I'll catch you for the next video or series that you end up attending. So until then, take care.